We're seeing OpenAI change a lot about life, but also change a lot about kind of low-level content creation. How does AI impact search and SEO, do you think, most significantly in the next couple of years?
So I think AI for content generation is still problematic because it hallucinates too much. So there's too much things that are in there that are just not true.
Why is that?
Well, it's pretty much down to like how transformer models work. I mean, it predicts the next word, but it doesn't mean that the next word has to be true. But at the same time, I think AI can be tremendously useful in content generation. It can help you create outlines. It can help you create excerpts of longer articles very quickly. It can help you distill your research very quickly because you can say, hey, so I've got these 30 articles on this topic, and you can use something like OpenAI to make excerpts of those and summaries and use that to write your own content very quickly. But I do think that writing your own content and adding something unique is going to be more important over time. And with a lot of these changes happening, search engines are bound to focus more on the author of the content than they have done for a while, because it's actually important for them to make sure that what's on that page is true and is good. So they want to make sure that they can actually trust the author. So I think the author of an article is going to be more important over the next few years than it has been in the past few years.
Does the price of content not go down? If you think about what this does to a demand and supply chart, this is a supply shock, creating excess supply or a massive increase in supply, which will inevitably increase the price by which demand is willing to pay. Do you not worry about that?
Well, no, I didn't worry about that at all. In terms of like more content being created, yes, there will be loads more content being created at probably very, very low prices. The thing is that most of that content will be not good. So the content that will rank in search engines will very quickly be the content that is actually unique and actually has value in it that is not given by an AI solution.
Do you feel we lose creativity in our content teams? And what I mean by that is you mentioned like the outlines that it can generate and a lot of the kind of low-hanging fruit that it can take away. Is there a loss of creativity with not having to do this? It's like, our arithmetic skills went down dramatically when calculators were introduced. Do we lose that?
Some companies might lose that. I think the winners will not lose that. I think creativity is still what's going to make content truly good and truly unique and shareable. And the thing is that SEO doesn't exist in a vacuum. So if you land on a page that was written purely for SEO purposes and it doesn't have any value, you're not going to share that page with your friends. And at the same time, the thing that you want for pages that rank in search and for them to be successful is that people will share them with their friends and will revisit them. So we have to make better web pages. And Google has been saying for years, you need to make websites for users, not for search engines. And I think they're absolutely right in that, like, if that page that you land up on from search that you build for SEO is not something that I want to share with my friends, then that page is not worth its money.
I get you, but then like I use Yoast as a plugin, and it's like, hey, you need to use your keyword more times throughout the text, and I'm like, well, it looks really weird to say Joost De Valk, and it's just like ridiculous when you put that 4 times throughout. It's like it only works in the title.
Yeah, so this is where building a simplistic model like we have done with the green, orange, red bullets is always going to bite you because it's never going to be perfect. I think that we do a pretty good way of saying the overall score of a page when that turns green. Stop looking at the individual bullets at that point because that'll lead you to over-optimization. The problem is that it's actually hard to write good content. And I don't think that skill is going away. And yes, AI will help in some of that. And some of the things that AI can do are very useful, right? So you can be writing your very nice posh English summary of which you think something is, and then you can throw it into OpenAI and say make this readable for people that have a reading grade of X, and then it'll do that for you, and it can actually help you do that very, very well to make it simpler and to make it easier for more people to read. So I think there's a lot of value in stuff like that.
You said about kind of, not many people do it well, but the importance of quality of content. I agree, but what concerns me is when you increase supply, you have discoverability challenge now, where there's just fucking harder to find that great quality content because it's in a sea of rubbish content. That's what concerns me.
I think that concerns me, and I think that concerns search engines even more. I think that is one of the things that Google is panicking about. Like, this is going to create a wave of very, very bad content on the web, and how are we going to surface the really good content? And that's why I expect them to be doubling down on things like the EA team, the things which they've had, expertise, authority, trust. They've already talked to that about that in quite a number of occasions, and I think they'll double down on that.